Hello, everyone. I'm Pedro,
Hello, I'm Vinny.
and we are entrepreneurs from Silicon Valley, and we're going to be reacting today to some Shark Tank videos.
That's it. Let's do it. Let's put the video on and play.
Next up is a convenient version of a traditional Middle Eastern snack.
Hello, Sharks. My name is John Sorial. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm seeking a $300,000 investment in exchange for 10% equity in my product. Sharks, being the son of Egyptian immigrants, I love the East Mediterranean foods I grew up on. The problem is, my grandmother didn't ship nationwide. So I took authentic recipes from the motherland and gave them a fresh new taste and look with Tadah Foods. Tadah is a frozen line of products that brings one of the world's most popular dishes, falafel, to the masses. Falafel is an amazingly savory blend of chickpeas, aromatic herbs, fresh veggies, and spices. And we've made it super easy and convenient to enjoy with our falafel street wraps.
Do you like falafel, Pedro? What do you think about falafel?
Falafel is great, but it's great when you can generate the green out of it. Like you come up with yourself falafel, whatever, can be chickpeas or whatever, and generate some business out of it. That's the goal.
All right.
In just 3 minutes, you can say goodbye to bland, boring bean burritos and finally eat something that's bursting with flavors. And that's not all. For those looking to eat gluten-free, we created the world's first and only stuffed falafel popper. That's right, I took the already perfect falafel and I figured out how to stuff it on the inside with one of our creamy signature dips. So Sharks, who wants to help me take America on an exotic culinary journey of deliciously prepared plant-based foods ready to heat and eat any time of day?
Bring it.
Yeah.
Feed us, Joe. Feed us.
So he did one thing there. So the first thing that you see is that he explained what the differentiator is, what's the unique value prop. And the USP from this is that it can be frozen, right? So it seems like not much, but that's one thing that it seems to be really hard, like from my point of view. Like, is that easy to make frozen falafel? That seems to be what this entrepreneur has figured out. So you need to communicate your differential, what is your differentiator right from the start, and that's what he's doing, and that seems great. Yeah.
It's a falafel ball.
Cool. Well, there's two lines of products.
Okay. Are they all the same?
No.
Thank you.
Lori?
Thank you.
All right. So what you guys have there from left to right, you have two versions of our best-selling falafel street wrap. The first one, that's our sweet and spicy harissa with lebni.
Wow, this is really good.
That second one is the lemon roasted garlic hummus.
Oh,
Okay.
The one for me is more like I've seen so many falafel places in New York that I always feel like if I want to go and eat falafel, I want to eat for like not at home, like frozen, but I'm just saying, like my point of view. I believe, yeah, they needed to find a specific niche, and also they were not gonna sell to other companies. I believe, and maybe on stadiums, right? When you go to a basketball game or a baseball game, maybe it's easier to just prepare a frozen one.
And then you have the poppers. It's harissa hummus, cucumber dill yogurt, and our original hummus flavor.
John, this feels very fresh, like it was made a minute ago.
Thank you so much.
Is it made a minute ago, or is it from the package, and is it refrigerated, frozen?
That is been sitting on the shelf somewhere in a retail store. I actually bought it off the shelf and brought it here. So
Really?
I don't know the manufacture date on it, but we get about an 18-month shelf life on our product.
Well, that's
in the refrigerated set or in the frozen set?
In the frozen set. This is a
How come is that possible and still be fresh?
Yeah.
That's one thing that's different from America to the UK. UK, like, fresh means fresh. It's gonna, if you don't eat it right now, like 1 week from now, everything is dead. But we have out here in the US a way to make things look fresh, and they last for 18 months. Like how we do that? That's an innovation.
frozen product.
It's chickpea, right?
Chickpea based, yeah.
Tell us about your background.
My parents are immigrants. They actually left Egypt. There was some religious persecution that was happening. They came to America. And when you're the son of immigrant parents, they're really liberal and open-minded, as long as you take a profession in medicine, engineering, law, or medicine, right?
Liberal.
And so I studied chemical engineering at Johns Hopkins University. I graduated. I worked in oil refining. I traveled all over the world, but I found it to be a really hollow experience. It wasn't a passion of mine.
What do you sell it for, and what is the cost?
The 7.5 ounce falafel street.
So what he's doing right now is that he's telling the perfect hero story. So one thing that motivates people a little bit to invest, like if you're a professional investor, that doesn't make such a big difference. But it's telling a story where you're like, oh, I came from a humble background. I suffered so much. I had a lot of pain in my life, but I was able to overcome those things. I show resilience. And I'm not saying that, these entrepreneurs wrong doing that. Like I did the same, like me and Vinny, when we were building an event and we are going from South America to build an event here in America, we were able to go to Silicon Valley and raise millions of dollars because we told the same story. We told the same story of resilience and, making the effort, being focused on the vision and everything. So that works. So if you have a story that's true and you can share the same thing with investors, go with it. It works. It's really well. And, it just works. Yeah. The hero story.
Yeah. Tell your story, what you were struggling. In our case was college. We were struggling with college. So we already tried I don't know if I cannot survive college. Imagine you get a 8 hours, 5 days a week job. I cannot take this for my life. So yeah, but yeah, it's important to show how you overcome those situations and going from a 0 to 1. When you are able to build something from 0, that's when the magic starts to happen.
Wraps retail for $3.99, and the 8-ounce bag of the gluten-free falafel poppers retails for $4.99. Cost me $1.09.
So $1.09 to cook everything, to make everything, and they sell for $4 and $3 each.
It says here you give 25% of your profits to charity.
It's 25% of distributed profits from the original founders is going to not-for-profit.
So does that mean...
Just to address something on the previous thing, that the average price in America, when you go eat these days, around $3 to $4. You go to the supermarket and say, I'm hungry, I need to eat right now. And you go to the frozen part of the section of the supermarket, like Walmart or whatever, or Target. Usually, the price is like $3 or $4 for a pack of, 3 sliders or 4 sliders. So he's competing with that, because people are going to stop buying the slider for today in the evening and they're going to try the falafel. So if he prices that at $8 or $9, that's expensive from a frozen point of view. You're thinking, I'm not going to buy this premium product today. I don't have the money to do so. I'm going to stay competitive and price these around $3 to $4. So that's very, very important. If you're too high on your price, it's you become a weekend product, which is not, you don't have enough volume. So you need to price around $3 to $4, which is this average.
Yeah. So basically, you understand your competitors, you understand your market.
Specific one or?
Well, yes, we have a few, but the biggest one works with impoverished children. They try to break the poverty cycle through education, medical care, and food programs.
Break down the numbers for me.
Lifetime sales is over 8.2 million.
Wow.
Trailing 12 month is 1 million.
How many years?
Before that?
1 million. So you've
stayed
steady.
So you're flat.
Yeah, we're flat because the demand is there and we can't supply. We were the fastest growing frozen brand in the country.
And
that's interesting, right? It's bad. You didn't show any growth in the last year. You just flat your revenue, but you explained this because of lack of production. There is a demand, I can grow, but there is no more way to produce more. I'm already over my 100% of my production. So.
And then we ran into a big production issue. And so then we went from 2.3 to 1.7, and now we're at 1.
What happened?
Wait, you were using a co-packer?
Yeah, so it was fantastic. We were achieving great margins with them. They became financially insolvent.
You couldn't make product.
I couldn't make product. I would show up and they'd have 4 people on the floor. This takes dozens of people, right? So I would stay all night with the staff.
So a co-packer is basically a manufacturer. The person goes there and produces your product. You have the formula, you have how tasty it's gonna be, and then there is this company that makes the product, the factory, right? So we had the same thing. You need to diversify. Have 1 or 2 or 3 manufacturers of your product, otherwise, or distribution channels. Otherwise, you're going to be too focused on one. Me and Vinny, when we were building an event around 2015, we were distributing mobile apps. In our mobile apps, we were going through Apple Store and the Google Play, right? And basically, Apple was our main channel. We were building all our customer and white label apps through the Apple Store. And then Apple came with a new policy because it's their store, and I respect that, saying white label apps were not going to be an option anymore. They do not allow this anymore. So basically, our main distribution channel was focused 100% on Apple. All our revenue was coming from Apple, and out of nowhere, they say you have 1 week to adapt. So we learned a very valuable lesson at that day, that we cannot be dependent only on distribution on one single channel. You got to diversify. You got to have one channel delivers 30%, another one 40%, another one 20%, because if one fails, you're still not going to lose 100% of your business overnight, like we did, or like this entrepreneur just did. Yeah.
Staff, I would suit up and I was shoveling chickpeas myself, but at the same time I was flying all over the country trying to source new co-packers. We fixed that problem.
On this $1 million of sales in the last 12 months, how much did you lose?
Say 2018, we lost 200,000.
The more you're talking, I'm less excited. When you first came out, I was like, woo, falafel.
Let's get you more excited.
All right.
We are in the top 10 of all frozen products nationwide, and we were the fastest growing in the frozen.
Yeah, there is a limit of like showing your what you lost. So make sure, again, as the investor, just give like a pretty clear feedback. Like, I'm not excited anymore based on the problems. You're just sharing problems right now. Like, so what exactly are you doing? Why should I really invest in you?
Yeah, I think
Not anymore. You're
just a lot of people say like, oh, share your problem, share the negative news and everything. Like, you really
be transparent, right? Like,
you really gotta ask them the honest question, like, are you really sure I'm going to try this? And you're gonna be, because a lot of people say this, but it's not really true. Like, they don't want to hear the bad news. So you should maybe just not update them when you have bad news. Like, update once, like on your compliance, but people don't want to hear bad news. Like, nobody want to do that, right? So try to moderate how much bad news you're going to share. Focus on the positive. Yeah.
Yes.
You're flat.
You know, hearing your story resonates to me, but I think that there are some other sharks on the panel here that can help accelerate you faster. And so for those reasons, I'm out.
So how much have you invested, and have you taken in any outside
We've
investors?
only ever done a friends and family round. The total round was $300,000.
How much equity did you have to give up for the $300,000?
I gave away 75%.
You won 25%.
Yes.
You gave up
75%?
75%?
That's a lot.
3/4 of the company?
Can I come back here?
What just happened?
You won 25%.
Yes.
You gave up 75%.
You gave up 75%.
Okay, so John, walk us through that. So that's a lot, and that has a lot of implications,
Sure.
right?
Originally, it was 50%, right, to the investors. And I had the other 50%. So then what we ended up doing was the other investors were like, no, we want to be part of the giving, okay? So we then distributed that 25% that was reserved for the social causes, and we distributed it amongst all of us.
Wait, that doesn't make sense.
You're giving up 25% of the
Robert.
equity to the social causes, not of the profits.
Correct.
Oh, John.
What?
That's hard.
So messed up.
That's so hard.
Why did he give 75?
One shark is out,
75?
and the other
Yeah, and even like before, like he was already he gave up 50% of the business for 300K. It's a lot. Like I don't know the terms of this. I don't know if it was like a specific. I don't know. They can bought this back from the investors after 5 years. It was more like a LOA, right? I don't know.
sharks are concerned about the business structure of John's frozen falafel company, Tadah.
You're giving up 25% of the equity to the social causes, not of the profits.
Correct.
Oh, John.
Whoa.
Maybe I'm not doing a good job explaining this. The investors, the 4 investors, myself and the other 3 investors, or the founders, own 100% of the company. And in each of our own equity stake, we've pledged 25% of what we make to these charities.
John, look, here you are facing an inventory shortage.
Yep.
Why didn't your investors loan you more?
Our total liability is $445,000.
That's why they're not loaning you more money.
John, sometimes you love the singer, but you hate the song.
Well, I'll sing you a different song. What would you like? I'll sing you
No,
a different
listen,
song.
seriously. I wish you luck, but this isn't for me. I'm out.
John, look, the food's great. As we peel the onion on your story, oh my goodness, the cap table, it doesn't need cosmetic surgery, it needs
No, it doesn't. He
major
re-explained it.
surgery.
It was
What do you
okay.
mean? It's for investors.
It's
It's for investors.
misalignment.
No, he just...
Let me finish, Mark. I mean, it's
These
too
are
much
hard
work for me.
transplants.
I'm sorry, my friend. Food's
What are you saying? Sorry.
I think they need a heart transplant or even a face transplant, something like that. That's what
How do
they
you
say.
survive in a business like that, right? Unless you have already like a multi-million or $1 billion company, okay, like if you have 25%, but that's completely different, the game there. Yeah, I really don't know what you do in those situations. It's just a situation that you want to avoid. you don't want to be in those situations. You don't want to compromise your cap table so hard.
I really don't see it as that.
I'm
much.
out.
I appreciate
I'm out. It's just too much work. Daniel, I'm betting in the journey of Kind, you faced this problem somewhere along the road. What does this guy have to do?
Kind, when he was born, we were in a situation not very dissimilar to yours.
Right.
I'd lost about $1 million in sales because one of my manufacturers had changed the ingredients, and we were this far away from just closing everything.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to me when I think back that Kind grew out of one of the toughest years of my life, and out of that darkness came incredible light. And Kind today sells in 300,000 stores, over $1 billion a year at retail, and so it can happen. And when I think about you and I see how you haven't given up after every single thing that's hit you, I just want to understand what's motivating you. Why haven't you just gone back to be an engineer? What does this mean to you?
It's perspective, right? When you go to other parts of the world and you see how people live, right? You realize that there are people are fighting for their lives. That's why I'm not like, I want to be a profitable company, and I've worked really hard, and it has been difficult, but I think about my family and those people who are struggling, and I want this to be a success because it'll impact their lives. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. Being entrepreneur is pretty hard. We were just talking about this before the episode. And you must be kind of fighting for your life. It's not just your business, not just like a company that you created. It's kind of yourself. So it's hard. But as one of the investors said, you can come with light out of darkness. So it's still possible.
I've never cried like that. I'm sorry. And I understand you think it's complex because we've been through a lot, but it just means that I know how to keep our company going. You have someone who's proven himself, who scaled it, has the team, has the manufacturing. We just want to succeed.
Your story resonates a lot with me, as I said earlier. And you have an incredibly quality product, and you have an incredible passion, but you have a mess in terms of the system that you have that needs to be fixed. So I don't see how with $300,000 you get out of it. You just need a little bit more. So if you want the $300,000, I'll do it for 20%.
Wow.
Okay. Or I'll give you $500,000 for 25% so that we can do this properly.
Okay.
Wow.
And if we do any of the bigger option, that money that would be to buy out a portion or all of your investors, because I'm going to be doing all of the work with you, so I want you to derive the benefits. I actually would like to get you to a bigger stake than you currently have.
Can we do $500,000 at 25%, but with then a line of credit for accounts receivable for another $500,000?
I will do the $500,000 for 25%, and I will most likely give you a line of credit, but it's not part of this deal. I'm going to sit down with you and your investors and review the 400-some thousand that they're owed, the equity that they have, and then as part of our next negotiation, I will be happy to provide maybe $1 million line of credit, whatever is necessary, but it will have to.
But before you jump, the two of the people or three people.
So one thing that's interesting on business is that whenever you can be like at the end of like the last person, like you can be just everything is failing, like nothing's working, like you have failed multiple times in the flow line for you. But business is all about succeeding once, right? And that's so powerful. Like you can fail 300 times. If you succeed one time, and you do the right deal and you grow from there. Like it doesn't matter if you're a failure before, if you failed 15 times or for 15 years, and you start making it right and you start growing. So this is very like empowering because the more you fail, more likely you are to succeed, and there is no problem in doing that. Like it's not like, oh, you failed multiple times and you have to recover and then like recover all these losses before. Like you can just make mistakes and keep going and then restart, and you just have to win once. So that's really good about business.
Yeah. That's you realize like how resilience, how to be like a resilient is very important to become successful on anything in your life. It's not just like you are the smart one, or you're also, of course, you need to be fast. You need to combine a lot of skills to create something, to make something work. But resilience is the most important aspect ever. Like this guy, for example, he could already gave up, right? Why he didn't give up before? So and he had a chance to tell his story, and the product, as the investor said, was so amazing. And he found one person that really resonates with his background. So one person that the guy find, it's everything that he needed. Like and probably he heard a lot of like no's on his face, like hundreds of other investors saying no on his face.
People potentially that have been there with you in the beginning, since the beginning, he wants to try to buy out.
John,
With fair terms.
John.
You've been through the wars. And when somebody is in a foxhole with you,
Yes.
you don't buy them out, right?
That's exactly right. So, but from what I understand, that's an option. It's not something.
You said your investors signal that they're willing to do whatever it takes. Right now, the investors are dying to just get their money back. They're about to
You don't
go
know
out of
that, though.
business.
You don't know that,
Well,
though,
it's
right?
pretty obvious
You
from the
know,
numbers.
what valuation are you buying them out at?
Just
Right?
going back and saying, is there a price to buy you out at? Means I think it's going to go up in value, and I'm not taking you for the ride, right? I think I can create more value than I'm going to pay you. Otherwise, you wouldn't buy them out, right?
You don't always know that, Mark.
Yeah, of
maybe
course.
Maybe they just want to get some cash out.
To Mark's point, my partners, they're my friends. They believed in me when it was just a concept. So as long as this is not like some type of take.
So what about this, John?
John, this is a
I'll
tremendous
give you
opportunity.
$300,000 for 20%, less than his, but I'll give you another $500,000 line of credit.
So now there's two offers.
Both are icons in respective industries.
Yeah, they can really negotiate.
I think that the business, and then they understand that that's a gap. You know, like there's not a lot of falafel products around in the market, like especially frozen. As I mean, like back to the first thing, like the differentiator. You know, unique selling proposal like that they have. It's to be unique. So they saw that, and even they have multiple problems. They're still able to help a little bit, and get this business maybe to sell $1 billion. Who knows? Right?
Is there any way to structure a deal with both of you?
I just want to make clear that I'm doing this to give you a hand. I really don't need to.
I don't do charity.
I want you to win, but the terms that I'm offering are very generous.
John, you got to make a decision.
You have to decide.
All right.
What are you going to do?
Would you do $500,000 for 20%?
No.
I feel extremely blessed, and Daniel, I accept your offer.
There you go, Mark.
Killing together.
Wow.
The sexiest food.
Yeah, I think makes sense. Like the guy went to the same like problems with that he's suffering now, right? So I don't see like a Mark Cuban really connect with the guy with the history of the product, but yeah, also it's not just like that, right? Like Mark Cuban could open way more doors. I was just looking like I can sell my product on Dallas Maverick Arena. I will be selling there every night. I will be there watching the game, selling my product, talking to customers every single night. So yeah, who knows what is the best decision.
Unbelievable.
Sexy falafel. That was a good one, Daniel.
Oh my God. Choosing between Daniel and Mark was one of the most difficult decisions I've ever made. But Daniel is an icon in our industry. To have him in our corner, supporting us, not just financially, but like working with us and helping us to grow Tadah into what we hope to be a national brand. It's just the best outcome I could have hoped for.
That's nice, yeah. And of course, it's so easy to now just like react on the things they're doing. Like building the business is the most difficult things you can ever make. So yeah, it's hard. It's gonna be painful, and then exciting. Like you're gonna have exciting moments, but it's painful.
It's tough business. Like if you get into business ever, it's very easy to get awards and like to take great pictures and everything, but it's the tough moments, the tough bugs, the customer complaints, like running out of cash. Those are really tough, and you really gotta be innovative and resilient. And I like that because you also improve a lot. You become a very strong person, and I also particularly like that. So some of the things that business can teach you.
Yeah, you're not gonna complain about like a small stuff. No, you know what is the hard part of life.
Exactly.
Thank
you, everyone. Hope you like that. Comment on the right there, and next week we'll be back. All right. Thank you.
So.
Have a good day.
See you in the next one. Bye bye.
Let's go closing the stream.